first and foremost, I wrote this tweet about how I am saying that AI has crossed the chasm. Now, if you're not familiar with this concept, this came from a book called I think it was 2006 called Crossing the Chasm, which was basically about specifically tech adoption. And so when you have a new technology, you have to get that technology out into the marketplace. Now, everyone knows like Facebook has become adopted, iPhones were adopted, and Sam Altman and other people have talked about how fast ChatGPT has been adopted. So, however, AI technology, generative AI, up until now, maybe 2 years ago, arguably with the ChatGPT moment, for all of us on the inside view, we're like, yeah, this is obvious. This is obviously the next big thing because we're on the innovators, we're the cutting edge or the early adopters. But and this is something that a lot of you have pointed out in the comments, is that you step outside of our bubble, most people don't realize what's going on. So some of you just a number, I don't know if this is a real number, but someone say like, it's like 50 to 1, right? Like the vast majority of people out there don't care what generative AI is. But then us, which are outnumbered, 50 to 1, we are here. However, my assertion is that chatbots have crossed the chasm into mainstream. So I said that computer using agents are next, but AI is clearly here. And interestingly, I got a response from Tobias Jurgen, who is a guy who is a tech strategist and product leader who was trained by the same guys and has this pedigree. So he was trained by Jeffrey Moore, and this is what he does professionally. So he was skeptical. So he said, "Why do you believe this?" And I said, "Okay, first, Fortune 500 companies have adopted it. So 70% of Fortune 500 companies are officially using chatbots for at least one function in their business. When a majority of Fortune 500 companies have adopted it, to me that says mainstream. And I say like it's built in Office 365, it's built in Google Cloud, it's built in GitHub, it's built into a lot of services." So he said, "Okay, sure." But his perspective was looking at TAM, which is total addressable market. So the total addressable market for everyone with a computer or smartphone, he says, is 5 to 5.5 billion people. Okay, sure. But he says that innovators typically run to 1.5% of TAM. Early adopters run to about 2 to 2.5% of TAM. So for this one exercise, about 4% of the 5 billion person TAM would be needed for this product prior to crossing the chasm, which gets us to about 200 million paid users. Now he specifically says paid, but we only have about 20 million paid users, up to maybe 100 million paid users. So from his perspective, just looking at how much money are you getting, that it hasn't crossed the chasm. So the reason I'm sharing this is valuable insight from an industry expert, a tech industry expert who is still skeptical that AI is even mainstream. And so I shot back, and this was a very polite exchange. So I say shot back, I replied, my perspective is a little bit different. So I was on the adopter side. Way back at the beginning of my IT career, I was using VMware ESX 4.0, which is a hypervisor that underpins a lot of cloud computing. Not all cloud computing, but particularly for private cloud. It's one of the biggest data center virtualization platforms. I remember using VMware and thinking this is very obviously the way of the future. Virtualization was the way of the future when I first started using it before 2010. Come 2016, it's standard. So that's the first thing that I say. And I say that original ChatGPT was very obviously the way of the future. Even if the adoption rates weren't there, as a user, I said, yes, this is very obviously the next big thing. And then current ChatGPT with O3 and everyone else, Gemini, they are so useful that they are beyond that level. It's like, okay, not only is this product feature complete, it is useful enough as it is. And one of the primary like turns of phrase that they use is, that your product has been adopted when people will pay to get it back. Where if you threaten to take it away, they say, no, give it back, right? If you were to delete all the chatbots right now, someone would rebuild it immediately. So when that is the case, when you have a product that is that compelling, it has staying power. And then finally, I said furthermore, The economics of product adoption today is different. Many products and services are free either due to advertising revenue, Google, YouTube, so on, or subsidized by VC to build users model. Facebook, X, and plenty of other mass consumer services are free to users, so paying subscribers is not necessarily the most telling benchmark. In terms of total users, chatbots have clearly broken into mainstream consciousness. Estimates range from 1 billion to 2 billion MAU, that's monthly average users. So if his threshold is 200 million users, we're way beyond that. We're an order of magnitude beyond that. Now you can agree or disagree as to the importance of whether or not they're paying subscribers. So that's the primary thing that I wanted to share to provide some context for this one. So where we're going to end today's video is Micah Kaufman, founder and CEO of Fiverr. He wrote this email to his people, and so I'm just going to read it to you. Because you need to know what's coming down the pipeline. And this is a CEO saying this to not only his employees, but then posting it on the internet so that like he can stay ahead of the narrative. So this is where we're at. And it's not just him. Like, it's one thing when Demis Hassabis and AI CEO say AI is coming for your job. It's another thing when a consumer of AI says AI is coming for your job. So keep that in mind. He says, "Hey team, I've always believed in radical candor and despise those who sugarcoat reality to avoid stating the unpleasant truth. The very basis for radical candor is care. You care enough about your friends and colleagues to tell them the truth because you want them to be able to understand it, grow, and succeed. So here is the unpleasant truth. AI is coming for your jobs. Heck, it's coming for my job too. This is a wake-up call. It does not matter if you are a programmer, designer, product manager, data scientist, lawyer, customer support rep, salesperson, or finance person. AI is coming for you. You must understand that what was once considered easy tasks will no longer exist. What was once considered hard tasks will be the new easy. And what was once considered impossible tasks will be the new hard. If you do not become an exceptional talent at what you do, a master, you will face the need for a career change in a matter of months." Let me restate that. You will face the need for a career change in a matter of months. I'm not trying to scare you. I am talking about I am not talking about your job at Fiverr. I'm talking about your ability to stay in your profession in the industry. Are we all doomed? Not all of us, but those who will not wake up and understand the new reality fast are unfortunately doomed. What can we do? Actually, did we miss a spot? Oh yeah, no, sorry. What can we do? First of all, take a moment and let this sink in. Drink a glass of water, scream hard in front of the mirror if it helps you. Now relax, panic hasn't solved problems for anyone. Let's talk about what would help you become an exceptional talent in your field. Number 1, study, research, and master the latest in AI solutions in your field. Try multiple solutions and figure out what gives you superpowers. By superpowers, I mean the ability to generate more outcomes per unit of time with better quality per delivery. Better, faster, cheaper, safer. That's what I've been saying for a couple of years now. Programmers code with Cursor, customer support, tickets, Intercom, Fin, Cintisum. Lawyers, contracts, Lexis AI plus Legora. I will also add Case Text as another one for lawyers to use. My lawyers friends all use Case Text. I think that's what it's called. It might have changed names. Anyways, number 2, find the most knowledgeable person on our team who can help you become more familiar with the latest and greatest in AI. Number 3, time is the most valuable asset we have. If you're working like it's 2024, you're doing it wrong. You are expected and needed to do more faster and more efficiently now. Number 4, become a prompt engineer. Google is dead. LLM and Gen AI are the new basics. And if you're not using them as experts, your value will decrease before you know what hit you. I cannot emphasize this enough. I don't use Google anymore. I go to Perplexity. I go to Claude. I go to ChatGPT for all of my information needs. Any of the most basic information needs. I avoid Grok because Grok will lie to you. I wrote a thread about that. Anyways, moving on. Number 5, get involved in making the organization more efficient using AI tools and technologies. It does not make sense to hire more people before we learn how to do more with what we have. Yes, more with less, better, faster, cheaper, safer. Number 6, understand the company strategy well and contribute to helping it achieve its goals. Don't wait to be invited to a meeting where we ask each participant for ideas. There will be no such meeting. Instead, pitch your ideas proactively. Number 7, stop waiting for the world or your place of work to hand you opportunities to learn to grow. Create those opportunities yourself. I vow to help anyone who wants to help themselves. Now, what I will say is all of this advice applies whether or not there's AI. Like, how did I build a 6-figure career in technology without any education? It's by doing these things. So many people are passive. So the opportunities are there. It is a target-rich environment. I will just editorialize and add that, like, it is a target-rich environment. What they've been saying is like, AI won't take your job. Someone who uses AI will. That's true-ish. Like, that's kind of what he's saying. But also a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. So, like, it's both. Anyways, moving on. If you don't like what I wrote, if you think I'm full of shit or an asshole or just trying to scare you, be my guest and disregard this message. I love all of you and wish you nothing but good things, but I honestly don't think that a promising professional future awaits you if you disregard reality. I have been trying to tell people this. You have been trying to tell people this. If, on the other hand, you understand deep inside that I'm right and want all of us to be on the winning side of history, join me in a conversation about where we go from here, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. So anyways, with all that being said, I hope you got a lot out of this. This is the format that I'm going to experiment with, is just giving you the hard-hitting stuff from the front lines as it's unfolding. So cheers. Have a good one.